city now. Dream the unreal sounds. This box is used for bad thoughts. Reprise and stick to the core.
I met Bradi in 2010 in my first Arenacross season, and I met her Baltimore Arenacross. And it wasn't a pleasant experience, actually. I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I was winning all the races, and I thought I was just, you know, hot shit. I was winning all the Arenacross races. I had to have been just the coolest guy ever, right? So Brady was a monster girl at the race, and she messed up the card. Like, she had the card up. She'll still say, she'll tell you to this day she didn't. Like, but she's full of it. I saw it. She had the card up. It was her first race she ever worked. She had the card up. Didn't turn it sideways. She just like stomped off, and I was like, oh, look at this chick.
Well, there was this guy there who was a little cocky, telling me that I messed up the board, which I never did the board that night. My girlfriend did it because she was a board hog, and I didn't really care. We're both getting paid the same, so go for it.
So after I won the race, I go up to the podium, and I'm talking to the monster girls on the podium. And I'm like, hey, you guys gonna go to the after party or whatever? Like, what's up? You guys wanna hang out later? Of course, she was like way too cool for me, so I was like, whatever. So I left.
I kept working these, had contact with him. I found his Facebook page, and my girlfriends had worked them with me and was like, just write him. Well, the only thing I can really say to him is that he was kind of been a bitch, like he was coming at me wrong. Not the way a guy should, so I just wrote him, bitch, on a Facebook message.
So it started out like me being young and dumb. I was just supposed to, you know, have some fun, but we ended up talking. And at the time, I had this like really crappy phone. I was like in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, and like by the time I finally got her like phone number, I had this one spot in the bathroom, the little apartment I was staying in, that I could get service. And like, I guess it worked because she thought like, you know, I'm like just so cool that like I don't write her back right away.
It took forever to get anything back from him, so like I thought he was kind of being cool. So part of me was like, I'm not playing games, like this is stupid.
But really, I was sitting there just like waiting for this chick to write me back. I'm like, oh man, like I gotta hear from her, and I couldn't get any service. I remember being so frustrated in this apartment, and just when we would text back and forth, I'd have to walk to this one spot in the bathroom and put my phone down, because if you had your hands on it too, it kind of messed up the service. So I'd put the phone down, and then I'd like walk away and just wait. And I'm like, man, I'd like do stuff in the apartment and like wait for her to write me. I'm like, man, she's not writing me. And then finally come through, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Saw him at another Arenacross round. And then I think the next weekend he broke both of his femurs. And I was like, oh, well, I probably won't see him again. I was like, well, I'm here. What are we gonna do now? We went to the mall. I pushed him around. He's very, so I realized he was stubborn. Like we'd always go to a store and he'd want something, but he would never buy it. And I'm like, dude, just fucking buy the pants. Like it's now or never. It's like shit or get off the pot. Like it's one, come on.
Then she kind of ran away from me. I told her that time when we hung out, we'd only been talking like 3 or 4 months. I told her I loved her, and she freaked out. She was gone.
No athletes, no nothing. Like I was friends with so many wakeboarders from Orlando, and I was like, I know how they treat people. I'm not dating an action sports athlete. Like, no, they travel, they're unfaithful, I'm not doing it. And then I think that winter, I was kind of like, I kind of miss this guy. Like, I kind of cut him out. Like, kind of miss him. Like, this is weird. Maybe I'll write him.
Even then, I was really young and immature and didn't really know how a relationship worked. And I didn't spend as much time and effort as I probably should have a few times. She ran away a couple times after that and had to teach me a few lessons.
He was like, listen, either I'm your boyfriend or I'm gone. And I was like, this is real, like shit. And I was like, all right, well, again, what do I have to lose? So I was like, all right, I'll be your girlfriend. So it'd almost been a year of us just talking and just figuring it all out, but it's been good, I guess. By the end of the summer, I was really manipulated by the family, and we started having bad terms then, but at that point I was like, I can go home. Like, I don't have to stay here and do this. I love you, Tyler, but we can't work this way. Like, I can't sit here and be talked bad about and then work with them. I was almost like Cinderella in this moment. Like, I had to sit, work, do whatever. Sister can come in, sister can do homework, sister doesn't have to work, but she's still getting paid. Like, it was just always unfair. And at that point I was like, I'm moving back. And then when I moved back, his father made him break up with me.
And I'll admit, like, I should have been more of a man a few times and stood up and be like, look, this is the girl I love, and we're gonna move forward with that. You guys need to either take it or leave it. But I don't know, being, you know, such a tight-knit family for so long, I think I was pressured, you know, and I would believe anything they said.
But in 2012, it was still going on. And I'm not one to be like, pick me or pick your family. So I pretty much gave it up to him, like, this is what we're lacking. I'm not gonna fight with them anymore. Obviously, blood's gonna win. I gotta peace out. Like, I want better things for you. Like, moto's great, but what are you gonna do with your future? Like, your family's made moto this huge ordeal. What are you gonna do after? You're smart, he's so smart. You need to get your GED and take college courses because you're making money right now. The money's gonna end in 6-7 years. Start doing college classes, why not? Like one or two in the summer. You're not doing outdoors, like, let's just do it. Well, I was the one taking him away from moto, and that's when I was like, we're done. You're 21, you're the only one working in this family. You have 2 adults, your sister. Why are you the only one working, busting your ass, and everybody else who lives a good life? Like, I just want you to open your eyes and realize things. Well, I crossed the line, and I should have minded my own business. And 6 months, I just left him thinking about it, and it was probably the hardest thing for me, even though he thinks I was just being spiteful. But I loved him. I wanted to be with him. But at that point, like, you gotta make up your mind. Do you want to live this life, or do you want a better life? Because the money's gonna run out. What happens when moto's done? There's no money. For what you were making and 4 people to be living off of, the end result's not gonna be there.
Just go get it checked, and everything would check out good because everybody else had it all figured out for me, and everything should be in check like it was supposed to be. I went and got it checked, and they kept turning it down. I couldn't figure out why. I pulled some strings and got some reports myself and found out that there was a tax lien filed from the state of Kentucky in, I don't know, like 2009, I believe it was. Ended up digging a little deeper. I asked my parents about it a few times. They said, oh, that was nothing, that was like a mistake, and then we paid it and they took it off. And I was like, well, that's weird because it's still kind of on my credit report, so it should be off if you guys took care of it, and or if it is what you guys said. Dug a little deeper and come to find out that you know, I had trusted my family, like a lot of motocross families, where my parents were basically momager and dadager. They were taking care of everything, you know, and we weren't paying taxes for X amount of years.
I've always been calling the bullshit on finances because someone has to pay taxes, right? Why hasn't anyone paid taxes? And in January, you know, Tyler was super pumped. He had his contract with PC, but there was still something wrong. And I finally reached out for a financial advisor, and his taxes haven't been paid since 2008. Well, we're engaged, we're getting married. Yours is now mine is now yours. What do you do? I'm obviously Tyler's going to be my husband. I'm going to protect him. I've always been trying to protect him, but these people have told me to mind my own business.
But it's the biggest blow is that knowing that, like, the people that you trusted so much to take care of things and like had been there for you so much, like during your life, you know, especially at a young age, and all the good memories and stuff, that I don't know, you start to question everything. You don't know if it was bullshit the whole time, or if it's just, you know, the last few years or something since all that stuff had happened, if that was just the bullshit. So I know I asked so many questions, and I was just comforted and assured that everything was okay and taken care of, and it wasn't.
This is reality. Like, we're hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt with the IRS, and the IRS wants their money first. Like, what do you do? And then Tyler had back problems, and then he also got Epstein-Barr. So a lot of people don't understand, like, the mental problems a motocross rider has on a normal good day. Well, now you have debt, your family, the one people you trust, gone. Like, trust is no longer there. They're supposed to be protecting you, haven't been. You're hurt, and now you're sick.
Pressure on Mitch to get, all right, let's get started. You know, it's into Supercross, let's get a bike, I need to start going somewhere. And he just really wasn't too keen on having me outdoors. Basically, he told me it was because, you know, my fitness wasn't there, and he thought that it was never really in my contract. Clearly a disagreement on that. I was really keen on getting the opportunity to race outdoors finally, and especially on a good team. So I was a little bit bummed out about that. I kind of felt, once again, I felt given up on, or I almost felt like I got benched. The new up-and-comer, Austin Faulkner, was signed, so it was definitely crowded there. And I understand Mitch saying that it was going to be crowded and there wasn't really enough room for me. But still, you know, I had signed a contract 2 years ago, and I felt like I'd been given up on, and I should have the opportunity to race outdoors and at least prove myself. Nobody had really given me a chance to ride the bike and see if I was even capable of doing it. You know, for all they know, I could have been a superstar on the bike outdoors. It's
pretty much politics. He had a 2-year contract. He should be riding. People should have looked at the numbers before. They just added a rookie. They should have thought about that before they signed other people for another year. Or they should have made it clear you're not riding outdoors. Maybe paid him out or something. Because now we sit here and what? We have to wait till October to talk to people. And then they're like, oh, well, you had a contract outdoors, but he didn't even let you ride outdoors, so why would we pay you?
I feel like something was supposed to happen, and you know, because of the powers of the world and the politics, they feel like they can just kind of take it from you.
You know, that's why I always tell him, like, it's just moto. You're blessed already that you can do this. This is your 9 to 5. It could be way worse. Like, we have a roof over our head, we eat fine, our dogs eat fine, we don't have children. Like, it could be way worse. So we just take it day by day and we'll see, and I hope people can see him when he's riding his practice bike outdoors for whatever reason. Know that he's looking good.
I haven't raced outdoors in years. It's been since 2009 since I raced outdoors, so there was a big question mark there for a lot of teams, I believe, that they don't know if I can even ride outdoors, which I think is kind of crazy because we all grew up racing outdoors anyway. It's not like any of us started on 50s or 60s on a supercross track, but so I knew I was, you know, more than capable to race outdoors, and it's been really good for me. The team's been really great. They've been really positive. Even at the beginning when, you know, my finishes weren't quite there, they knew I needed to dust the cobwebs off and move forward. So the team's been really good with that, and I was hoping, you know, before the end of the outdoor series this year to get some pretty good finishes in and help my negotiations with Mitch or, you know, another team. Especially with it being on a Kawi, you know, I thought I could, you know, by helping them out, I thought I would be able to seal the deal for next year too. But yeah, so far that hasn't happened. Right now I'm talking to a few teams, and one of which is really motivated to beat Pro Circuit, and I'm at this point especially feeling given up on and so quickly chopped that I'm pretty much in the same boat. So I hope that works out, because I think we both have a common enemy at this point. And I hate to say that in this motocross industry, but I've definitely got a fire lit under my ass now, and a lot more than ever before, I think. And so if the one team works out, I think we could definitely do some damage, and I look forward to that. If it makes sense, then we'll do that. If not, then I'll be figuring something else out. Really, I screwed myself because a normal person will be like, wait, this is way too much, and like we can, maybe do a deal where I'll pay a lot right now, or like, pay as much as I can outright, and we'll drop the total down a little bit. But with me, I'm still young, and I still have a bright future, especially racing dirt bikes. They look at what I've made the last 3-4 years, and they probably assume that I'll keep making that, and I have the potential to make more money, and so there's absolutely no wiggle room. They're not gonna negotiate anything with me to try to drop it down, because they believe that I can make enough money, and especially as young as I am, they think I have enough time left on my life to pay it all back. So
now our finance guy has us on a reasonable amount that comes out of our paychecks, because we also have to live. They have to pay health insurance. Any motocross rider that actually has health insurance and doesn't use GoFundMe pays a pretty penny. What else? I'm not gonna let Tyler go out there without health insurance, because one, I'm not an idiot. Two, he's not an idiot. And you ride motocross for a living, you're bound to get hurt. And our dues to them, it's a big amount. I mean, for a normal person, for us, we do both make incomes, but I couldn't imagine if it was just him working and then I was living off of it too. What he makes as a salary would be nothing for us, with the IRS taking money out and then what we have to pay for him to do this sport. But people with normal jobs and sit on a computer that have all their comments to say would never understand. It's a nightmare. I never thought this would ever be our life, just because my parents are both financially successful and they're happy and they get to go and do things, and they both have jobs, and here we are, just we're not struggling, because one, I'm never gonna let us struggle, but for him, to know your family is the one that pretty much caused this. And even to this day, they blow up his cell phone and they want to fix things, but they have all the money in the world to go to the races and do all this other things. It's if you really want to help out, you can start throwing some money this way, because we're screwed. But no one wants to throw a penny over here. Did I know? Tell me about it.
Once we got older, things got more serious. My sister was like, well, I don't want to miss my basketball game to go to the race. So she would stay back, play basketball, and that's whenever things start to get split. My mom would stay with her me and my dad would go race on the weekends. Go to Texas, race the Pro Circuit Series. And so that's where it got a little more difficult, like the older we got, and that's where, mom and dad kind of had to split up a little bit on the weekends to keep both kids' dreams alive, But that kind of sucked, because I just wanted my parents to both be at the race. My sister too. I was like, I want everyone to be here, and we can't. Chloe's playing basketball, and my mom's got to go with her. She's not old enough to go by herself. So, and I didn't like it for a while because I was like, man, I want everyone to be here, and they just weren't.
Are you crying?
No, I'm close.
And when he cries, I laugh. So at our wedding, I'm like,
Dude, when I proposed to her,
laughing.
I get down on my knee, and I kind of fucked that whole thing up anyway. I just opened the box and didn't even say, like, will you marry me or anything. She just giggling her ass off on the rocks, just laughing. Oh, it was awesome. I was like, is that a yes, or? Anyway.
He later on wrote me back. This is my version.
You didn't hit the part about Lisa telling you how amazing I was. No, you liked me because I was a bad boy.
No, shut up.
She's like, I think he's young. He's like your age, and he's like. Thanks for almost making me cry a couple times again. Asked me about my wedding and stuff. You brought up the wedding, and I just get all teary-eyed about the wedding. I'm such a dude. I was fucking such a little baby on that thing.
We still have a long road ahead of us, and this is just a hiccup, and we're gonna keep pushing forward, maybe.
Maybe.
If you don't off yourself. So yeah, definitely day by day, and our future. He'll definitely do something. Probably medical. He looks up to everyone that's helped him when he's injured, being like, you got this, let's go. So he definitely thinks maybe sports rehab would be a good place for him, but then he also wants to be an astronaut, so we shall see. But he can't even ride a Disney ride, so I'm confused. We just had a discussion about this last night. We were watching some astronaut show about them going to Mars and like the tests they do for it, and he was like, dude, that's gonna be me. I'm like, you can't even ride a ride at Disney World.
Yeah, you gotta conquer Disneyland first.
He's like, well, I ride a dirt bike, and I was like, yeah, it still confuses me every day that you'll get on a dirt bike, but you won't ride a ride at Disney.